right. And Lisa, can I take over the presenting the share screen?
You can. All right. Well, welcome everybody. I am going to stop sharing and I'm going to let Jessica take over. We are going to take a deep dive into World Book today. All right, Jessica, it's all you.
Perfect. Let me just switch tabs here. All right. Well, thank you all for letting me join you today. My name is Jessica Rothizer. I'm a training specialist with World Book. And as Lisa said, we're going to do a deep dive, not super deep dive because we only have 30 minutes, but we're going to take a good look at World Book Online and what you have available to you. This presentation I'm going to use just as a tool for just a couple of minutes at the beginning here, and then I'm going to share it with you before I leave you so that you can refer back to it at any point. There's a lot of slides in here that I won't talk about, but they'll be there for you to refer back to at the end. So objectives for our session, hefty objectives for only our 30 minutes, but we're going to go over the databases that you have available to you and some of the features within those that best suit your needs, teachers' needs, students' needs. We're going to talk about resources and tools for both students and educators to help all users access the information that's available and really get the most out of World Book. And then at the end, I'll show you where you can find a ton more support material, how-to articles, tutorial videos, lesson ideas, things like that on the World Book training guide. So with that, I do just want to talk about the 9 databases that your district has available to you. As I said, we're going to just briefly go into some of these. We won't make it into all of these today. We're going to focus mostly on the top row here, timelines as well. We'll briefly talk about ebooks too. But the top 4 are kind of what we call our core reference databases. They're progressive. So students would start in early learning at pre-K, kindergarten, move into World Book Kids in elementary school, then student in middle, and then advanced in high school. And then this bottom row here is kind of our supplemental databases. We won't go into World Book Discover today. I do want to mention Discover is going through a transition. So a lot of, if you're familiar with Discover, if you use Discover, a lot of the features that are in the current version of Discover will still be there when Discover kind of is revamped. But that's going to be coming about mid-December. So I don't want to spend too much time on that today just for it to go away in a matter of weeks. So just a heads up on that will be coming if you do use Discover or you want to take a look at Discover. Again, brand new look and some new features as well in December. And so we can meet again and go over all of those awesome features sometime maybe in the spring. But with this presentation, as I mentioned, I'm not going to go through every single slide, but I will send this out just with some, a slide for each database with some details and descriptions of each of those. So we'll go into the databases themselves. I think that's a better use of our time, but I will send this out. Same with these resources and tools slides. I'm going to try to go over a lot of this live here with you. But again, to refer back to, you can always come back to this presentation or to the recording that Lisa is recording. And then as I mentioned at the end, we're going to go into our training guide where you can find support materials. So with that, let's just jump right in. So I understand that you all kind of range from all the grade levels, elementary through high school. So I'll try to show a little bit of each, but again, 25 minutes we have now. So I'm going to just do briefly each one, and then I'm going to talk about some really awesome tools as we get into kind of the upper databases, the student, the advanced, where your kids are going to be doing the most research, what tools are available to them there. Here on early learning, this is going to be a site for your youngest learners, your pre-emergent readers, but We've also heard that some educators use this with their English language learners or with students with diverse needs with the special education department. So a lot of different uses that you can use for early learning. This one, again, really built for the pre-emergent reader. So you're going to see a lot of colorful things, a lot of disguised learning built in here as well. The whole site has read aloud functionality. So that's that blue icon up in the top right. Anything you hover over will read aloud.
Creepy crawlies.
Turn that up a little bit.
Wild animals. Videos.
And so on. So
Mute.
again, you're going to see content really written at a beginner reading level. All of the nonfiction content here is kind of in story format as well. So as I mentioned, a lot of disguised learning here on early learning. But I do want to spend a little bit more time on the older databases. So that's going to be kids, student, and advanced. As I previously mentioned, kids is going to be your elementary school database primarily. Lots of different ways for students to find content, to engage with content in a variety of ways. Obviously, they can do a standard search. They can also explore. So this is going to be more of a visual browse, kind of drilling down through those different categories until they find what they're looking for. Or they can do a traditional search that's going to be predictive as well to kind of help them with spelling of perhaps more unknown terms. I want to jump into an article here, and we will spend a lot of time on an article in kids. We'll briefly look at one in student and advanced, but because these databases are progressive, all the tools that are here in kids go with students to student and then on to advanced as well. Obviously, additional things and features and content will be added as you level up, but kind of once you learn your way around a kids article, you know your way around student and advanced without really having even seen them. So every article on Worldbook formatted the same. You're going to see 4 tabs up in the top left corner. So the article tab, you'll see obviously the article itself. Articles will have read aloud functionality. It's going to highlight word by word.
Water covers almost 3/4 of Earth's surface.
Kind of a hidden feature here. You can double click on a word in the text and get that definition to pop up over the top. So it's a really awesome way to help students build that vocabulary, define unknown terms really easily. They can close out and just keep on reading right there. At the bottom of a kids article, you're going to see links to Worldbook Student and Encyclopedia Estudiantil Hallazgos. So this is Hallazgos is our Spanish version of Worldbook Kids. So that's a really easy way to toggle back and forth between a Spanish database and an English database. Obviously going to be great for English language learners, native Spanish speakers, but also if you're teaching or you have students that are in upper level, middle or high school Spanish classes, or they're learning Spanish as a second language. That's kind of another cool way to find content for students to practice reading in Spanish as well. Other tabs up in the top left, curriculum standards is going to be an awesome educator tool here. This is going to show you what standards are aligned to this specific article. You can filter by subject, by grade level, and you'll see all of the standards down here below. So, obviously you want that content that you're finding to align with the grade level and the subject area. Great teacher tool right there. And you'll also see the Lexile measure here underneath curriculum standards, just the reading level of the article. This tab here, curriculum standards and more information, essentially the same tab, but more information is going to open more to the student-facing additional content that's on the site. So articles, activities, games, you can see all that's there. Some articles will have comprehension questions as well. Really great for guiding students through the reading. An awesome kind of shortcut for educators if they want to assign the article and a couple of questions along with the article. Worldbook has some already prepared. And then pictures, videos, and more. It's just going to compile all of the media from the article into one place. Again, all 4 of these tabs are going to be available on every article between kids, student, and advanced. So really navigating the article in the same way. Same with these tabs up in the top right. You have a table of contents, and then you have the tools menu. Within the tools, you're going to see a couple of additional great things. You can adjust the read aloud settings, so adjust the speed or the sound of the voice. You can translate the text into over 100 languages. So obviously we just saw Hyascos, that Spanish language database, but you likely have English language learners, native speakers of many other languages as well, and we probably have that language available here in the translation. And so with that, you'll see the same article. A lot of the languages will retain that read aloud functionality as well, which is really awesome. Every article will have MLA, APA, and Harvard citations already available and pre-made for students. If you work with elementary students, you're probably like, why does kids have MLA citations? My first grader does not need to cite in MLA format. Correct, they probably don't. But a couple of reasons. One, for consistency. Again, as students move up, they'll know where to find that citation information. And then also just being available for students that are perhaps reading below reading level, maybe on the brink of kids and student, maybe they're in middle school, they need to create a citation. It's available here on kids as well, even though the content is written at a little bit lower of a reading level. And then you have your save, share, and print functions. Print, pretty straightforward there. You can share to Google Classroom or via email. And then you can save, you can download, save to Google Drive, OneDrive, etc.
I get so frustrated. You have no idea. It's exhausting.
All right, so standard article in World Kids. As I mentioned, tons of other ways to cross the curriculum down here at the bottom as well. One that I really like to point out is important people, especially at the elementary level. We find that students are doing a lot of research that's kind of biographical in nature. So this is a great feature to find that content. So students can search by a person's name, job title, they can browse by job or achievement, and then they can put further filters on their results. So male or female, country or cultural heritage, time period, and so on. For sake of time, I'm not going to go into the other features down here because I want to make sure we make it into all of the databases today, but I definitely encourage you, if you work with elementary students, there's so many awesome ways to cross the curriculum down here at the bottom. Science projects, geography tools, there's games that cover all 4 core subject areas as well. So definitely take a look at those. But the last thing that I want to show you on kids is the Educator Tools up in the top right. 2 of these Educator Tools you're going to see on kids, student, and advanced, and that's going to be curriculum correlations and web quests. So this curriculum correlations tool is kind of the reverse of what we saw on the article. So that standards tab on the article. With that, we had already found our content, and then we could see what standards align to it. With this tool, it works in the reverse. So first I can select what set of standards I want to see, and then I can filter through the site to find content that's aligned to a specific standard. And then web quests, again, going to be on kids, student, and advanced. Each site is going to have web quests at different levels. So these are print and do activities designed to build foundational knowledge on a variety of topics. You can see them broken down by subject area and subtopic within those. And then it will tell students, search for this keyword, open up this article, and then here's all your questions, activities related to that topic. There are also web quests for each of the 3 core databases for learning how to use the database. And I really like to point this one out as well. It's great for maybe the beginning of the school year, the first research project of the school year, or really anytime throughout the school year if they haven't used World Book before and you're kind of just starting to use that with students. this walks them through what tools are available, what features are available, how to navigate the site, and really how to do research using Worldbook, in this case, Worldbook Kids. All right. And then Kids also has lesson plans for the educator, aligning to activities, games, science projects that are available on the site. And feel free to pop in at any time if you have questions, but I am going to keep on moving. We're going to level up into Worldbook Student next. And this is going to be your middle school database. Some of the same features that you saw on Kids, such as maps and atlas, kind of geography tools. And then again, the way that you navigate the site, searching, the way that the article itself is set up. But on Student, you're going to have a lot more types of content. Most are pretty self-explanatory. One that I really like to point out are back in time articles. So Worldbook is coming up on 100 years of printing encyclopedias and encyclopedic content. And so they brought all of that content onto our databases. So this is going to be available on Student and Advanced. And you can see next to the article title what year that article was written in. So for example, this water article was written in 1926. So these are really cool ways to kind of see how things were written about throughout time for historical topics. For example, World War II. We have articles written about World War II while it was actually going on. So it's a really interesting way for students to see different perspectives throughout time. How was something written about while it was going on? Or for like science and technology topics, how have we progressed over time? How was the computer written about in 1990 versus what does that look like today? Very different technology that we're working with. So I always like to point that type of content out. A traditional article in itself, you're going to see looks a little bit different, but fundamentally not that different from Kids. We still have read aloud, double click dictionary, the same 4 tabs. We can see our table of contents out in the open this time instead of tucked into a menu, but otherwise set up the same, but you're going to see the articles in Student are a lot longer and written at a higher reading level as well. One new cool update to Worldbook Student is that we've integrated with Legends of Learning to bring games related to science and math topics into related articles. So here we're on water. It's a science-related article. So I'm seeing this Legends of Learning game here. This is a standards-aligned science game. And they also have math games. They're fun, they're colorful, they're musical, but obviously most importantly, educational and standards aligned. So kind of cool ways to get students engaged with Worldbook, perhaps in subjects that are using Worldbook less. Maybe you're finding that language arts and social studies are using Worldbook more. This is kind of a cool way to get math and science topics and subjects brought in here as well. Within the tools menu of Student and Advanced, you're going to see a couple of new tools, one being highlight the search term. Because the articles are a lot longer, this helps students kind of find what they're looking for a little easier. Can adjust the text size, make that smaller or larger. You still have the translation tools, citations, print, save, share. You can also view the article by section rather than as a single page. And that's pretty cool if you want to just assign one specific section or have students focus on one specific section of the article, kind of chunks materials into smaller pieces. And then the best tool, I think, maybe not the best, one of the best tools on Student is going to be under Save. And that's the My Research feature. And so My Research is a virtual backpack, essentially, where students can create folders and educators to save content from throughout Worldbook. So you can create as many project folders as you want, save your content to those folders right from within the article. Now, this does require what we call a My Worldbook account. This is a personal account that each student would have. So you can see it says Welcome Training Teacher. That's my personal account. So obviously students and educators are going to access Worldbook through your portal. But in order to save this content, they are going to need a personal account. So when I click on my research from the homepage, you can see, sorry, I did that kind of fast. It's here under quick links. If I click on my research, it's going to prompt me to log into this personal My Worldbook account. This is a super easy account creation. It's a one-time account creation, and it's an account that can be used across all the Worldbook databases that have personalization tools. So that's going to be Worldbook Student, Advanced, Discover, Timelines, eBooks. So really a lot of ways to use this, a lot of cool things that you can do with that personalization account. So, it's just a one-time account creation, and then users can come back and just get logged in at any time. So this is what it looks like once you save content. Again, you can create as many projects as you want here, and you can save across databases. So as I mentioned, Student, Advanced, Timelines, Discover, you can use this My Research feature across a lot of these databases, saving as much content as you want in any format that you want. You can also keep track of external research, websites, and books that you're using. You can add notes. Maybe there's a specific paragraph or a specific video from a site or a specific, portion of a video. Watch starting at 2 minutes. You can add all those notes to keep track of that content and come back to that again at any time. Obviously, a great way for students to stay organized, but also for educators, perhaps within a department. You could share a username, and educators can contribute to compiling content for specific units or projects that a certain grade level is doing or a certain subject area. So really awesome organizational tool, way to keep everything organized throughout. With that, we also have a citation builder. And our citation builder is not anything crazy. It's very similar to other citation builders that are out there. The benefit of it is that you can actually save your citations also to a My Research project. So you select your citation type, fill in the fields, create your citation, and then you can save it again to a My Research project. Just another way to keep everything organized. Obviously we saw the citations exist already within Worldbook articles, within Worldbook content. You can find a citation for almost every type of content. But if you're doing external research, you can also create those citations here as well. And again, save those to your My Research projects. Educator Tools here, also in the top right corner, very similar to kids. You have that curriculum search tool, the standard search. You have the web quests. Student also has graphic organizers that you can have students use alongside reading or engaging with content of any kind, whether on Worldbook or not. And then Advanced, a lot of other great features, same as Worldbook Student. Don't have time to go into all the features that are there. Definitely would encourage you to come on and just kind of poke around into all of the other features available outside of maybe that encyclopedia research aspect. But again, a lot of that's going to be available here on Advanced as well as some unique features too. But with our last couple minutes, I do want to go into Worldbook Timelines. This is one of my favorite sites that Worldbook has. Everything here is in chronological timeline format. It's a great research tool, but it's also a really awesome creation tool. So Worldbook has over 650 pre-created timelines. You can drill down by category and subcategory and click into any timeline. All the timelines are going to have the same timeline viewer. You can navigate them all the same way. You can zoom in and out. You're going to see the timeline will adjust to best fit your screen. You can click on an event to see more about it, to see the media enlarged, kind of flip through this way. And then what's really awesome about timelines is that you can edit them and you can create your own timelines. And so you can see up in the top right corner here, it says Welcome Training Teacher. This is the same account that I was just using for the My Research tool. So it's that My Worldbook account. As I mentioned, you can use it across multiple databases. Here on timelines, what that's going to allow me to do is edit a timeline. So I can edit existing events, I can color code them, I can add my own notes, media, etc. As you can see, I color coded that one purple. I can add additional events to the timeline. Worldbook has over 14,000 individual events, so I could search through those, filtering by date, or I can create my own event completely from scratch. So if I'm doing external research, I want to add an important event to a timeline, I can do that as well. Now, any edits that I make are only going to appear for me. So I'm not editing, the original Worldbook timeline. And if I leave this page without saving, all of my edits will be gone. So if I want to come back to my edits, everything that I've done, I want to save the timeline. And so you're going to see that icon in the top right corner. You can save to My Timelines, which is just going to be within this timelines database. As you saw, you can also save timelines to a My Research project. So I'll just save to My Timelines here. Once you save the timeline, you're going to get a unique URL. This allows you to share the timeline in any way to any site that you use, email, learning management system. But we are also integrated with Google Classroom. So if you click on Share up in the top right here, then you can click over and share directly to Google Classroom. You can also create a timeline completely from scratch. This is going to give you a completely blank timeline that you can add events to. And then any timelines that you create or edit and save will go here into this My Timelines section of the site. So again, you can see a lot of ones that are obviously Worldbook created that I've edited or added events to. But then again, you can create any timeline that you want. We've heard so many awesome ways that this has been used. We've heard it in language arts classes used as a way to chronicle daily writing prompts. Each day students log in, enter the prompt as the event description, and then answer the prompt in the notes. And then they can share that URL with their teacher, and their teacher can come back and view that over and over. Same idea with a current events log, a reading log. You could use it as an alternative assignment or as a presentation tool. Do a character study of a character in a book you're reading. Track your progress for group projects or project-based learning. Create a timeline about yourself as a get-to-know-you activity. Really endless ways for this timelines feature to be used. And it's a really awesome creation tool. All right, so with our last minute here, I want to pop over to our training guide really quick. From any database that you're in, you can see this button at the bottom here, Training and Support. If you click on that, you'll see a link to the Worldbook Training Guide. This site doesn't require a subscription. Anyone can access it, so you could also just type in worldbookonline.com/training. But here you're going to find tons of support materials. If you're browsing through kids or student and you find a feature that you want to know more about that we didn't cover today, we have written tutorials about all of the different features that are available, video tutorials as well. So broken out by database and then by feature within those. We also have complimentary training, so public webinars on a variety of topics. You're welcome to join us at any time. If any of those interest you, you can find those on there. We also have some on-demand webinars in there. And then my favorite part of the site, this green button here, free material. You're going to see tons of promotional materials, learning resources, just ways to really get involved with Worldbook, different ideas for use. Obviously, promotional materials, bookmarks, flyers, posters. There are letters that you can send out to teachers or to families saying, hey, we have Worldbook. Here's how you can use it in the classroom or at home. And then learning resources, you're going to find tons of lesson ideas, different teaching topics, for example, accommodation tools or resources for English language learners within Worldbook. In distance learning ideas, you'll find a lot of lesson ideas. So obviously most schools are back in person this year. So a lot of these, while they were designed for at home, they could be incorporated into the classroom or the library as well, or shared with families for ideas for continuing to learn over winter break or, just over the weekend or something like that. So tons of different ideas here, tons of great resources, and I wish that I had more time to show you more, but
we'll just have to invite you back.
Exactly. So I just want to put up my email and the link to the training guide as well. So you can email me anytime, training@worldbook.com if you have any questions. And then you can also probably find your answer on the training guide at worldbookonline.com/training.
So we had one quick question that was posted in the Q&A, which was, did you say that the teacher creates and saves and students have access to the lesson and activity? I'm not following the question 100%.
How long ago was that question asked?
Hi, this is Joanne.
Oh, hi.
I thought you said something about the teacher creates the lesson and then students have access to it. Did I hear that correctly?
To which site were you referring to? Which database were we on?
The World Kids?
Kids. So the lesson plans that you're referring to in the Educator Tools, these are going to be educator facing. They align to various different content that's on the site, mostly activities, but there are some science projects and games as well. So there's going to be an educator facing version with objectives, procedures, and so on. And then there will also be a student version of the activity on the site as well for students to follow. So they're pre-created.
They're already created. So I just put it into the classroom or a link for them to access?
Yeah, you can definitely do that.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
It looks wonderful.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jessica. I'm going to take over sharing.
Sure.
All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us today. Coming up, we have Sparking Change in Your Media Center. That will be our first in-person PD of the year. It will be November 11th at Palm Beach Gardens High School. Signups are active right now in e-learning. If you haven't yet joined EMA, please consider joining EMA, bit.ly/EMAPBC and click join us. Our next members share tank for EMA will be November 9th at 2:30. So members, keep your eye out for the email and the invite. And if you are interested, EMA members, we are having an EMA PLC that will start next Tuesday. And then, of course, December 1st through 3rd, we have FAME, and go to floridamediaed.org to register. Please, 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 please tag us, tweet. I cannot stress enough how important it is for you to advocate and share all of the amazing things that you are doing. Administrators take notice of these things. Love seeing everything that you're doing. If you're interested in points, please register for the course in e-learning. Just look for Topical Tuesday. There's only one follow-up activity and it should be quite simple. And our next Topical Tuesday will be November 2nd, and we will be talking with SIRS. We'll be talking best practices with SIRS Issues Researcher and SIRS Database. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. I hope you have a great rest of your day.